Mr. Terry, come up to stage. Standing ovation. Let's give it up for Terry. Come. Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
Before he comes up, he's got a special thing. I'll give you this.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I do it for you? There we go.
I'm looking for the biggest dog lover in the room. Okay.
Love dog.
Second biggest dog lover. Okay, guys. There you go. That's it.
Amazing. Let's give it up again.
Okay. Have you noticed any entrepreneurs in the room? Don't be ashamed. Just put your hand up if you're okay. We've got one or two semi-nervously putting their hand up. I think us entrepreneurs, we're often very attracted to the big growth hack, the secret Google SEO trick that's going to fool those guys for the next 6 months, or some big amazing guru course technique that's going to turn our business into a rocket ship. For 40 years in entrepreneurship, I can tell you actually that probably doesn't exist. And actually what does work really well, and I'm going to give proof of this in a minute, is mastery of your personal habits. Now, James Clear has covered this to some degree in Atomic Habits, and in this book I go a step further and talk about the habits of your organization. So we build these organizations, these teams, we lead them, and what happens is that they inherit our habits. Our work ethic, our values, our tempo, all of that basically become those of the organization. So if you really want to achieve a huge impact in the world, and I'll go into mine in a minute, and you'll read about it in the book, hopefully, you definitely have to achieve mastery of your habits and your organization's habits. So that's the controversial statement out of the way. I see a lot of shocked, fairly appalled people in the room going, it's nonsense, it's rubbish. Of course I can find that hack, that growth hack. So here's the proof of that. In 2016, I have a tech company here in Sofia. We employ about 100 people. Small, very non-obvious plug here for that company right there. Very subtle. In 2016, we started to get into the habit of feeding homeless dogs at a huge abandoned industrial area near Sofia, Kremakovci. At the time, there were about 500 dogs who were not being fed. So in 2016, we started feeding those dogs 3 times a week. The company completely paid for it out of our success as a WordPress hosting provider. And in 2024, we still do that. We're still feeding all those dogs on that site. In 2019, we created our own foundation, which is Every Dog Matters EU. You can find us at everydogmatters.org. And in 2020, we opened our own shelter, which is meant to be, as I discussed with people during the break, a prototype for how all dog shelters should be in the future. So this shelter is about 30 minutes drive from here in Kostenbrod industrial area. I think we have some people from Kostenbrod tonight. Don't be ashamed. You can say, oh, that's me. All right, fine. So we have a 27,000 square meter site at Kostenbrod industrial area. It's a horrible, socialist, derelict, semi-industrial kind of wasteland. However, we have this old pig farm there. And what we have done is try to create the exact opposite of what normal dog shelters are like, where they put dogs in tiny prison cells for life. Even, I'm ashamed to say, Daniel, in Australia, where they'll spend like the equivalent of 20 million euros on a giant new dog shelter, they will still put dogs in tiny rooms. Extremely destructive for dogs, and makes many of them unadoptable, get all kinds of behavioural issues. We did the opposite. So we have vet clinic there. We do orthopedic operations, good food, lots of social interaction and walks. And this makes the dogs happy, and they're more adoptable and friendly and all of that. And if a shelter isn't making dogs adoptable, I can't quite see the point of that. So how does that connect back to habits? The only way that we could have achieved that as a foundation and organization to actually pay for all of that. We do get some small donations, which we're very grateful for, but almost all of it is funded by my tech company. And we could never have had that available profit money success to fund that without mastery of our organizational habits. So I really urge you, if you really want to make a big impact in the world, you've got to get a handle on those habits and especially your organization. Thank you.
Oh, such a great reminder. You know, I love the saying, it's our habits, our routines, and our rituals that will determine the way our future is going to look, right? You know, I just did a post about this today of how, you know, we talk about consistency being the key to success, but well, how many things are we consistently poor at? Or our poor habits being consistent with them, like skipping leg day or eating junk food or binge drinking on the weekends or procrastination. And I think it's a really great point that you make that highlights about how it's really important to bring consistency, to build the positive habits, to get on top of the money mindset so then we can invest into the projects that we care about. And I think that's such a beautiful project. And thank you so much, Terry, for sharing it. Let's give it up for Terry one more time. And I trust the dog lovers are going to be reading the books and sharing the feedback. Is it okay if they gift it on to the next person once they've finished the book?
Totally fine.
Totally fine. Amazing.